The silence of the United Earth Command Center was heavy with anticipation. Jiwoo Park stood motionless, his eyes fixed on the massive holographic display showing the approaching alien fleet. The Valorian ships moved with calculated precision, their metallic hulls gleaming against the dark backdrop of space. Outside the command center's reinforced windows, Tokyo bustled with its usual energy, completely unaware of the impending confrontation. Screens around Jiwoo flickered with incoming transmission data, each pulse of light a heartbeat of potential destruction. Captain Minho Kim approached, his military uniform crisp and unwrinkled. "They're close," he muttered, more to himself than to anyone else in the room. The communication officers worked frantically, their fingers dancing across quantum-encrypted interfaces. The first Valorian transmission arrived. A high-pitched frequency filled the room, then translated into human language through advanced linguistic algorithms. The message was direct and cold. "Humanity will surrender. Resistance is futile. Your civilization will be integrated into the Valorian Empire." Jiwoo's hand touched a hidden control panel. Beneath major cities worldwide, dormant defense systems began to stir. Years of secret preparation were about to be tested. "They think we're weak," Minho said, a slight smile crossing his typically stern face. "They've studied our history, our conflicts, our apparent divisions. But they missed something crucial." The alien fleet continued its approach, massive battleships casting shadows over Earth's orbital zones. Each ship was larger than entire human cities, equipped with technology that had conquered hundreds of civilizations across the galaxy. What the Valorians didn't know was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Every global conflict, every technological advancement, every secret research project had been a step toward this exact scenario. In underground facilities spread across continents, quantum computers calculated potential invasion strategies. Advanced AI systems mapped the Valorian fleet's potential movements with millisecond precision. Weapons unlike anything the aliens had ever encountered were quietly being prepared. Jiwoo remembered the classified briefings. How humanity had transformed its internal conflicts into a unified defense strategy, how every nation had secretly contributed to a global protection protocol that remained hidden from extraterrestrial reconnaissance. The communication team worked silently. Each member knew their role, trained for years in simulation scenarios that now became reality. They weren't just military personnel, they were the guardians of human survival. Minho walked to a secured communication terminal. His fingers input a complex series of quantum-encrypted codes. Across the planet, hidden defense networks began to pulse with energy. Satellites repositioned. Underground launch facilities prepared their systems. 60 seconds to potential first contact, announced a calm computer voice. The Valorian ships were close now, so close that individual weapon systems could be distinguished on their massive hulls. They moved with the confidence of a species that had never known defeat, but they didn't know humanity. Jiwoo watched the holographic display, his breathing steady. Years of preparation had led to this moment. Every scientific breakthrough, every technological innovation, every resource spent on defense was about to be validated. The aliens believed they were bringing civilization's ultimate solution, forced integration under Valorian rule. They saw humans as another primitive species to be conquered and controlled. They were wrong. As the first Valorian ships crossed the final orbital boundary, something changed. A subtle shift in energy, a barely perceptible change in the electromagnetic spectrum. Humanity was about to send a message that would echo through the galaxy, not a message of surrender, a message of survival, a message that would define their species' future among the stars. Minho looked at Jiwoo. No words were needed. They both understood what was coming. The moment of first contact had arrived. The Valorian battleships hung in Earth's orbit like massive metal predators, their weapons charged and ready. They expected quick submission, a routine conquest that would add another civilization to their expanding empire. Hyuk Choi sat in a hidden control room deep beneath the Korean peninsula. His fingers hovered over a complex quantum interface, muscles tense but controlled. Around him, a team of engineers waited in absolute silence. Outside, the first Valorian weapons began to charge. Massive energy cannons pointed toward major population centers, ready to demonstrate their overwhelming power. Their commanders believed a single strike would break human resistance. Activation sequence initiated, Hayok whispered. Across the planet, something extraordinary happened. What appeared to be ordinary landscapes, mountain ranges, ocean surfaces, seemingly empty desert regions, suddenly transformed. Defensive platforms emerged from concealed locations, quantum camouflage dissolving like morning mist. Thousands of weapon systems materialized simultaneously. They weren't just defensive structures. They were technological marvels that represented decades of secret human research. Nano-enhanced platforms with capabilities far beyond traditional military technology came online. The Valorian fleet hesitated. For the first time in their galactic conquests, they encountered something unexpected. These weren't simple planetary defenses. Each platform was a quantum-linked weapon system with adaptive intelligence and near-instantaneous targeting capabilities. Hayok's team had designed these platforms to be more than just weapons. They were living technologies capable of analyzing and countering alien technological signatures in milliseconds. The first Valorian energy blast was intercepted mid-trajectory, not by a traditional shield, but by a complex quantum interference field that completely neutralized the weapon's energy. The alien commanders watched in shock as their most powerful weapons became useless. Weapon platforms began their synchronized attack. Unlike traditional military strategies, these systems didn't just shoot. They analyzed, predicted, and eliminated targets with surgical precision. Each platform communicated instantaneously, creating a network of defense more complex than any alien intelligence had ever encountered. Valorian battleships started to disintegrate, not through conventional destruction, but through targeted molecular disruption. Entire sections of their ships simply ceased to exist, broken down by technologies that seemed to defy known physical laws. Hayok remained calm. This was the moment humanity had prepared for, a demonstration that technological superiority wasn't just about firepower, but about intelligent, adaptive design. The battle lasted less than 12 minutes. When it ended, Earth's orbital space remained pristine. Not a single human structure had been damaged. The Valorian fleet, once considered invincible, had been completely obliterated. No casualties, no collateral damage, a perfect, calculated response. Communication channels across the galaxy would soon spread the news. Humanity was not just another conquerable civilization. They were something entirely different. Hayok leaned back, allowing himself a small smile. The first message had been sent, and it was clear. Earth would not be conquered. Not today. Not ever. The quantum platforms powered down, returning to their hidden states. To any observer, it would seem nothing had happened. But the galaxy had just witnessed a fundamental shift in understanding. Humanity had arrived on the interstellar stage, and they had made their entrance with absolute terrifying precision. Xiongyu Li studied the galactic star charts with cold precision. The Valorian homeworld pulsed on the holographic display, a blue-green planet surrounded by massive defense networks. Most military strategists would consider a direct counterattack impossible, but humanity had never played by conventional rules. "Activate quantum swarm protocols," he commanded. Thousands of autonomous drones emerged from hidden launch facilities scattered across Earth's orbital zones. These weren't traditional weapons. They were intelligent systems designed to adapt, learn, and destroy with unprecedented efficiency. Their first wave targeted communication infrastructure. Valorian communication networks collapsed within minutes. Their defensive systems, once considered impenetrable, became vulnerable under the coordinated attack. Quantum AI systems analyzed and predicted Valorian defense mechanisms faster than their own computational networks could respond. Each drone was more than a weapon. It was a thinking, evolving combat unit. Orbital tracking systems showed complete disruption. Valorian military bases went dark. Their advanced technologies crumbled against humanity's unexpected technological superiority. Military installations across their primary planetary systems began to dissolve, not through conventional explosions, but through molecular deconstruction technologies that left nothing but molecular dust. The Valorian leadership watched in horror as their civilization's infrastructure disappeared. Their most advanced defense systems became useless against an enemy they had completely underestimated. Xionyu's team worked with machine-like precision. No emotion, no hesitation, just calculated destruction. Target critical infrastructure, he ordered. Complete system elimination. Drone swarms moved like liquid metal through space, penetrating defense shields that had protected the Valorian Empire for centuries. Energy systems collapsed. Communication networks disappeared. Entire planetary defense grids became inactive. What made this counteroffensive unique was its surgical nature. Humanity wasn't interested in occupation or territorial expansion. They wanted a clear, unambiguous message: attack Earth and face total annihilation. Artificial intelligence systems coordinated the attack with mathematical perfection. Each drone communicated instantaneously, creating a networked assault that adapted faster than any known defensive mechanism. Valorian military commanders watched their screens in disbelief. Their technological advantage, carefully cultivated over millennia, meant nothing against this unexpected human strategy. Within hours, the Valorian civilization's core infrastructure had been completely dismantled. No massive explosions, no dramatic space battles, just precise, calculated destruction. The message was clear. Humanity was not just another conquest. They were a technological force that could eliminate an entire advanced civilization without losing a single human life. Xionyou Li allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction. Years of secret research, global collaboration, and technological innovation had led to this moment. Communication channels across the galaxy would soon spread the news. A new player had emerged in the cosmic landscape, and they played by their own rules. The counteroffensive lasted less than a standard day. When it concluded, the Valorian Empire existed only in historical records. Humanity had sent its message. Loud and clear. Do not mistake our patience for weakness. Do not consider us a target. We will defend ourselves. Completely. Utterly. Without mercy. As the last drone returned to its hidden facility, Xionyou Li knew something fundamental had changed. The galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. They were no longer just another species. They were a force to be respected, feared, understood. The counteroffensive was complete. Earth's message had been delivered. Yongwu Kang stood in the massive communication chamber, surrounded by quantum transmission equipment that represented humanity's most advanced technological achievement. The room was silent, but the energy was electric with anticipation. Dozens of communication specialists worked at complex interfaces, each preparing to broadcast a message that would reshape galactic politics forever. This wasn't just a transmission. This was a declaration. The quantum communication array could penetrate communication networks across multiple star systems. Every known alien civilization would receive this message simultaneously, with perfect clarity and translation. Yongwu's fingers touched the primary transmission trigger. Years of diplomatic strategy, technological development, and careful preparation had led to this moment. The message was simple, direct, uncompromising. To all galactic civilizations, humanity will not be conquered. We do not negotiate. Any attempt to challenge Earth will result in complete elimination of the aggressing civilization. This is not a threat. This is a promise. Quantum encryption ensured the message would be understood perfectly by any technological species. No misinterpretation was possible. No diplomatic ambiguity remained. Alien communication networks buzzed with the transmission. Research stations, diplomatic centers, and military command posts across multiple star systems received the unfiltered message from Earth. The implications were immediate. Civilizations that had been planning potential expansion suddenly reconsidered their strategies. Those who viewed humanity as a potential target now saw them as something entirely different. Not a victim. Not a potential conquest. A predator transmission satellites across Earth's orbital zones amplified the signal. Each broadcast carried the same unwavering message of technological superiority and absolute defensive commitment. Yongwu watched the transmission indicators. Perfect signal strength. Complete global coverage. The message would reach every potential alien civilization within communication range. What made this transmission unique was its psychological impact. Humanity wasn't just defending itself. It was establishing a new paradigm of interstellar interaction. We will not be victims. We will not be conquered. We choose our own path. Military analysts in alien command centers would spend years studying this transmission. Diplomatic experts would debate its implications. Technological researchers would attempt to understand the capabilities behind such a confident declaration. But the message was clear. Earth had arrived on the galactic stage, and they were not interested in playing by anyone else's rules. The transmission lasted precisely 137 seconds. When it concluded, the communication chamber remained silent. No celebration, no emotional display, just the quiet confidence of a species that knew its own strength. Yongwu Kang allowed himself a small, controlled smile. The message had been sent. The galaxy would never be the same. Alien civilizations would talk about this moment for generations. The day humanity transformed from a potential target to an undeniable force. The quantum communication arrays powered down. Outside the facility, the world continued its normal rhythm. Cities bustled, people worked, children played. No one would know the magnitude of what had just occurred, except those who needed to know. The message was delivered. Earth's policy was now galactic law. Gina Park stood at the observation deck of the first human interstellar research station. The stars looked different now, no longer distant points of mystery but potential territories of exploration. The Valorian conflict had changed everything. Humanity's internal conflicts had dissolved, replaced by a unified global vision. Countries that once fought each other now collaborated with unprecedented intensity. Scientific research centers across the planet worked in synchronized harmony. Military technologies transformed into exploration technologies. Every resource, every breakthrough became focused on understanding and expanding human potential. Global education systems were completely redesigned. Children now learned quantum physics alongside basic mathematics. Technology and survival skills became core curriculum. The entire human approach to knowledge had transformed. Space research facilities that were once competitive now shared every single discovery. National boundaries became meaningless. Humanity had discovered its true potential through a single, devastating conflict. The quantum communication networks that once defended Earth now became tools of exploration. Advanced AI systems mapped potential habitable zones in distant star systems. Human technological capabilities expanded exponentially. Researchers like Gina were no longer just scientists. They were pioneers of a new human understanding. Each discovery represented not just scientific progress, but a step toward ensuring human survival. Interstellar exploration vessels were designed with lessons learned from the Valorian conflict. Adaptive technologies, quantum communication systems, self-repairing structures. Humanity had learned that survival meant constant adaptation. The first human colonies would not be military outposts. They would be research stations, learning centers, places where human potential could be explored and expanded. Gina watched a holographic display showing potential colonization routes. Planets once considered uninhabitable now seemed like potential homes. Human technological advancements had rewritten the rules of planetary adaptation. The transformation wasn't just technological, it was psychological. Humans now saw themselves as a species with cosmic potential, no longer confined to a single planet, but ready to explore and understand the universe. Global resources that once funded military developments now supported scientific research. Every nation contributed, Every scientist became part of a larger human vision. The Valorian conflict had lasted less than 24 hours, but its impact would reshape human civilization for generations. Young researchers trained in facilities that combined military precision with scientific curiosity. They were not just students. They were the architects of humanity's future. Quantum computing systems that once targeted alien infrastructure now calculated complex mathematical models for interstellar travel. Technologies of destruction had been transformed into tools of exploration. Gina understood something profound. The conflict wasn't just a defensive action. It was humanity's coming-of-age moment in the cosmic landscape. The stars were no longer something to fear. They were invitations, challenges to be understood, territories to be explored, homes waiting to be discovered. As the first interstellar research vessel prepared for launch, Gina knew humanity had changed forever. No longer a species defined by its conflicts, but a civilization defined by its potential, its curiosity, its unbreakable spirit. The universe was waiting, and humanity was ready.